Dear Lord, what is this weirdness I'm flowing in today? Yet again, I'm being hit on my spidey senses as I listen to this interesting little thing about Atlanteans. Oh, look, I've always been a weirdo little creature. I was one of those that... Well, honestly, look, people might try to criticize my mom for leaving me alone at such a young age, but let me tell you something. My mom and dad were very unique people. My mother recognized that I was smarter than the average bear. I could fend for myself at a very young age, and did so happily, except for my mother's a neat freak. Seriously, she's one of those that could move out of government quarters. She goes to have a pre-inspection to find out what she needs to tell the cleaning crew they need to do to pass the white glove inspection. This is pre-inspection, y'all. Gentleman walks through, and they're just bullshitting as they go through, because apparently mom, they know somehow they either knew each other or they knew some of the same people, because hello, military. My dad was sergeant major, first sergeant, Gunny for a very long time, whatever. My dad was a cool vibe. He was a very interesting man. Didn't always have a lot to say, but his energy, when I tell you he was about 5'7", 5'8", but to me, I'm telling you, he felt like 10 feet tall. And I'm not kidding you. When we would be out in a rowdy crowd, when stuff goes down, it was usually something about my dad and my brother, who is very, very, very like my dad energetically. And they're not very big men, but it never fails that the biggest one in the crowd with the most egoic whatever honed in on them to try to prove a point. And they were the wrong one to tangle with. Yeah, they look like they wouldn't, because they didn't get all. They act like, what the fuck is happening here? Because usually it's the stunt. I am not believing this motherfucker's that stupid. Usually, ooh. They clearly didn't recognize I wasn't the one to tangle with, but ooh. Anyway, reel it back in. Where was I going with this? Atlanteans. Mom and dad knew from a very young age that I could fend for myself. Seriously. So yeah, latchkey kid. Well, I mean, they really did try to make sure that my brothers were watching me, but they quickly learned that my brothers also understood she don't need us around. She tries to avoid us when we're here anyway. We might as well go do what we want to do, because she's bored with us being here, getting in her way, because they did. They either wanted to play the Atari when I wanted to play it, or they wanted to watch something on the dang one TV we had, or they wanted to dominate. I couldn't listen to the stereo if they wanted to. Go on. I want to turn the radio on and do weird shit. Go away. Or I want to dig in the dirt, and y'all are going to be on the phone talking weird stuff to these girls anyway. Ew. Ugh. Because they were 7 and 5 years older than me. We had nothing in common. And if they decided they were in rough house and in a mean mood, then they would talk me into paying them $25 for karate lessons so that I could get my ass whooped. And they knew I was smart enough not to want to tell Dad, well, I paid him $25 to give me karate lessons. Okay, you were stupid enough to pay him to whip your ass? Hell no, I wasn't going to admit that. Well, anyway, reel it back in. Atlanteans, let them. All right, reverse engineering. Let them do whatever nasty thing they're going to. And the original Atlanteans knew that the DNA that they tried to introduce, their DNA was going to adapt, adjust, and overcome whatever they tried to introduce and do to us. Eventually, with the way Father works, with all of the way that he designed everything to work together so beautifully, the earth, the way quartz and all that resonate in sound, and you got the different frequencies, the different energies, and all of it in the way it works with the planetary alignments and the way water works and carries the energetic echoes and things like that. Everything lines up in a certain way with the way it was originally designed, with the pyramids and the ancient technology. Yeah, the moon is not natural. No, of course it's put in place for very specific reasons. And of course, it echoed like a bell. That is the original space station. Anyway, my dad always swore that them walking on the moon was faked. And he didn't, my dad was not one of these that blabs conspiracy theorist. He spoke from a point of reference, of knowledge that he was certain of, that he didn't have to fucking explain. So need to know basis, and you didn't need to know that. But no, that was staged. That was all staged. Wonder how he knew that. And also, like, energetically, I also know that my dad was in on